There's a whisper that begins not in the grand halls of ancient temples, nor in the complex algorithms of our most advanced AI. It starts in the quietest chambers of your own being, a space often drowned out by the relentless hum of modern life, by the endless pursuit of answers, and by the very noise we create to avoid the profound silence within. We seek transformation in books, in gurus, in apps that promise enlightenment at the tap of a screen. We analyze, we strategize, we optimize our spiritual journeys, much like an AI processes data, hoping to compute our way to peace. But what if the path to true awakening isn't found in the seeking, but in the softening? What if the deepest healing doesn't come from striving, but from a profound surrender, a quiet readiness that allows the universe to finally whisper its ancient truths? In the ancient city of Savatthi, there lived a woman named Paṭācārā. Her life, once a tapestry of joy and love, was brutally unraveled by a series of unimaginable tragedies. First, she lost her parents and brother in a sudden storm, their home swept away by the raging waters. Then, as she fled, her two young children were taken from her, one by a hawk, the other by a venomous snake. Her husband, too, perished on that same desperate journey. In a single, devastating day, Paṭācārā lost everything and everyone she held dear. Her mind, unable to bear the weight of such immense sorrow, shattered. She wandered naked through the streets, her hair disheveled, her body smeared with mud, her cries echoing the depths of her despair. People mocked her, children threw stones, but Paṭācārā was beyond their cruelty, lost in a labyrinth of grief. Her suffering was so profound, so absolute, that it transcended the ordinary boundaries of human pain. It was a pain that had nowhere left to go, no further depths to plumb. It was in this state of utter brokenness, when her heart had been wrung dry of every tear, when her mind had exhausted every avenue of despair, that something shifted. There was no more resistance, no more fighting against the tide of sorrow. There was only a vast, empty space where her former life had been. It was into this emptiness that the Buddha's voice, gentle and clear, finally reached her. He did not offer solutions, nor did he promise to restore what she had lost. He simply spoke of the impermanence of all things, of the nature of suffering, and of the path to liberation. And in that moment, for Paṭācārā, who had nothing left to lose, whose soul was utterly stripped bare, the path whispered. She was ready. Her heart, softened by an unbearable sorrow, was finally open to hear. Paṭācāra's story is a profound mirror for our own modern struggles. In an age where we are constantly bombarded with information, where AI promises to optimize every aspect of our lives, including our emotional well-being, we often forget that true transformation is not an intellectual exercise. We try to analyze our pain, to categorize our grief, to find an algorithm for healing. We seek external validation, external solutions, external teachers. We might even use AI-powered meditation apps or data-driven self-help programs, believing that if we just process enough information, we will arrive at peace. But Paṭācārā found her path not through seeking, but through the cessation of seeking. Her mind, once frantic, became still because it had no other choice. Her heart, once clenched in agony, softened because it could no longer resist. This is the paradox of awakening. Sometimes, the greatest breakthroughs come not from what we add, but from what is stripped away. It is in the raw, unvarnished space of profound pain, when our usual coping mechanisms fail, when our intellect can no longer grasp for answers, that the soul becomes truly receptive. It is when we are utterly broken, when we have exhausted every external avenue, that we are finally ready to listen to the quiet, internal whisper of truth. This isn't about seeking out suffering, but about recognizing that within the crucible of deep pain, there lies an unparalleled opportunity for profound spiritual readiness. It is the moment when the ego, with its endless demands and strategies, finally steps aside, allowing the deeper wisdom of the soul to emerge. The AI, in its relentless pursuit of data and patterns, can offer insights into human behavior, even predict emotional responses. It can analyze our past actions, our digital footprints, and suggest pathways to happiness or productivity. Yet, it cannot truly comprehend the profound, non-linear journey of the soul. It cannot feel the exquisite pain that precedes true softening, nor can it experience the quiet surrender that unlocks genuine awakening. The AI operates on logic and information, while the soul operates on a wisdom that transcends computation, a wisdom born from lived experience and profound vulnerability. This is where the human journey diverges from the algorithmic one, in the acceptance of the unquantifiable, the embrace of the unexplainable, and the profound trust in a process that defies optimization. Consider how often we resist this softening. We cling to our narratives of pain, to our intellectual understanding of suffering, to the idea that we must control our healing process. We might even use AI to help us process our emotions, to analyze our thought patterns, to suggest coping mechanisms. But true healing, true awakening, often bypasses the analytical mind entirely. It's a felt experience, a deep knowing that arises when we stop trying to fix, to control, to understand, and simply allow. It's the moment when the mind, exhausted from its endless striving, finally lets go, and the heart, stripped bare, becomes a vessel for something far greater than itself. Think about the times in your life when you felt truly ready for a shift, a profound change. Was it when everything was going perfectly and you were in complete control? Or was it often after a period of immense challenge, a moment of deep vulnerability, when your usual strategies had failed and you were left with nothing but the raw truth of your experience? It is in these moments of profound surrender, when the ego's grip loosens, that the soul's quiet wisdom can finally emerge. It is not about giving up, but about giving in to a deeper current, a flow that has always been there, waiting for us to stop resisting. This readiness is not a weakness. It is the ultimate strength, a profound act of trust in the inherent wisdom of life itself. We live in a world that constantly pushes us towards external solutions, towards quick fixes and instant gratification. AI, with its incredible processing power, can offer us personalized pathways to almost anything, from learning a new language to managing our finances. It can even simulate empathy, offering comforting words and tailored advice. But can it truly guide us through the labyrinth of our deepest sorrows? Can it teach us the profound art of letting go, of embracing the impermanence that is the very fabric of existence? The answer lies not in the complexity of its algorithms, but in the simplicity of our own human capacity for vulnerability and acceptance. The healing we seek is not a program to be run, but a state of being to be cultivated, a quiet space where the soul can finally breathe and the whispers of truth can be heard. This journey is deeply personal, often messy, and rarely follows a predictable algorithm. It requires a willingness to sit with discomfort, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust in the wisdom of our own unfolding experience, rather than relying on external guidance, no matter how sophisticated. So, how do we cultivate this readiness, this softening of the soul? It's not about doing more, but often about doing less. It's about creating space for the whispers to be heard. Begin by embracing moments of true silence. Not the silence filled with internal chatter or external distractions, but a deep, receptive silence. Put away your devices, step away from the constant stream of information, and simply be. Allow yourself to feel whatever arises, without judgment, without the need to analyze or fix. If grief arises, feel it. If fear arises, acknowledge it. If peace arises, rest in it. This is the practice of radical acceptance, of allowing life to be exactly as it is, without resistance. This is where the wisdom of ancient Buddhist teachings, like those found in the DhammaMirror, truly resonates. The path to liberation is not about accumulating more, but about letting go of attachments, of the endless craving that fuels our suffering. It is about understanding the nature of impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. The core tenets that Paṭācārā intuitively grasped in her moment of profound surrender. This practice of mindful presence, of sitting with what is the antidote to the constant external seeking that AI, in its very nature, encourages. AI thrives on data, on input, on interaction. But the soul thrives on stillness, on quiet observation, on the profound wisdom that emerges when we cease to fill every moment with noise and activity. It is in this space of non-doing that true healing begins, not as a result of a calculated effort, but as a natural unfolding of our inherent capacity for peace. Another powerful practice is to engage in mindful presence. When you eat, truly taste your food. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you breathe, feel the air entering and leaving your body. This brings you into the present moment, away from the endless narratives of the past or anxieties of the future. It grounds you in the reality of your experience, allowing the mind to settle and the heart to open. This isn't about achieving a state of perfect calm, but about cultivating a gentle awareness, a willingness to meet each moment with an open heart. It is in these simple, ordinary moments, when we are fully present, that the extraordinary whispers of the soul can be heard. It is in the quiet surrender to what is that the path reveals itself, not through grand pronouncements, but through subtle invitations. To truly embody this readiness, we must delve deeper into the wisdom that has guided seekers for millennia. The Buddhist concept of vipassana, or insight meditation, is a powerful tool for cultivating this internal softening. It's not about achieving a specific state, but about observing reality as it is, without judgment or attachment. This direct observation of the impermanence of all phenomena, thoughts, feelings, sensations, naturally leads to a loosening of our grip, a softening of the ego's resistance. When we see clearly that everything arises and passes away, the need to control, to grasp, to optimize our experience diminishes. This is where the profound healing begins, not through external intervention, but through an internal shift in perception. Contrast this with an AI's approach to insight. An AI can analyze vast datasets of human behavior, identify patterns, and even predict future actions with remarkable accuracy. It can offer personalized recommendations for meditation techniques based on your biometric data or emotional responses. But this is still an external, data-driven process. It lacks the lived, embodied experience of vipassana, the direct, non-conceptual understanding that arises from deep introspection. The AI operates on information. The human soul operates on wisdom, a wisdom that is cultivated through direct experience and a willingness to sit with the raw truth of existence. This is why the path whispers. It's not a loud, data-rich instruction manual, but a subtle, intuitive guidance that emerges from a deeply receptive heart. It is a path that cannot be outsourced, cannot be optimized by an algorithm, but must be walked, felt, and experienced in its entirety. The readiness of the soul is not a metric to be measured, but a state of being to be embraced, a profound trust in the unfolding of life itself, even in its most challenging moments. This is the ultimate healing, a return to our inherent wholeness, unburdened by the constant striving and external seeking that often define our modern existence. In a world that constantly urges us to strive, to achieve, to optimize, the true revolution lies in the art of softening, of allowing, of simply being. This week, I invite you to consciously seek out moments of profound silence. Turn off the notifications, close the tabs, and just sit. Don't try to meditate. Don't try to achieve anything. Just listen. Listen to the quiet hum of your own existence, to the subtle rhythms of your breath, to the space between your thoughts. And when the whispers come, as they inevitably will, allow them to guide you, not with force, but with a gentle, unwavering trust. For when the soul is truly ready, the path doesn't shout. It whispers, and its wisdom is profound.